Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Munatu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Mahavidvishavahai. Om Shanti. The principle of Karma Yoga works exactly like how you use a thorn to remove a thorn that is embedded in the flesh. It's the same thorn to use to remove a thorn that has already gone into the flesh. Same way, by nature, action will push you into more activity. That's the nature of action. It repeats itself. But in Karma Yoga also, you are taking up a particular set of action. You take up an action and you do, and what type of action you do is there with a particular attitude. Particular set of action with a particular bhavana. So specific action with specific bhavana alone becomes Karma Yoga. Not any action. So here he gives that idea. What is that? First thing he says, don't get into inaction. That's the first concept. Because you don't have a choice. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatishtatya karma kritu, he says. You cannot be without action even for a split second, Arjuna, he says. So you have to act. Helplessly you will be acting. So don't resist action. So get on to action. But when you are getting on to action, there are issues coming into picture. That is, you get into wrong type of actions. What is a wrong type of action? Wrong set with a wrong attitude. Wrong action with wrong attitude. Now, what is that? Is an action that is dedicated to a higher ideal. To picture a higher ideal as high as possible. And then dedicate your actions towards achievement, to realize that ideal, is the principle of Karma Yoga. Now the problem is, what is this? It doesn't work in us. Like, no child asks the parent, let me go to school. If any child is happily going to school, means we can understand the condition in the house. Right? There are some exceptions. But no child will call the parent and say, I think, Mom, now I am 2 years old, 2.5 years old. Now they have started this, education in US, I heard, womb schooling. The schooling has started when the child is in the womb. So the mother has to go and sit in the room, and they'll be playing something. So the child will be hearing that. No child wants to go to school. The parents have to drag the child and push the child in that school, and then slowly the child will detest it, it will hate, and then he will start going to school for wrong reasons. The child will not go to school for the sake of education. The child will go to school for wrong reasons. For playing, I like the teacher, I like my friends. College canteen is very good. When in Santo Veromba, none of us would miss the Friday school. Because Friday afternoon, in our school, we had a canteen. The canteen, he would make, samosas. Friday. Friday special with samosa. He will serve. So Friday, even if we are having fever, this one, that doesn't make any difference. We'll go to school and fight to get that samosa. Go to school for wrong reasons. The child will not go to school for the sake of education. It will not understand. If you ask the child, do you understand the value of education? It will not understand. It will be boring. If the mathematics teacher has not come to one day to the school, means it is such a joy, isn't it? I'm sure all of you would have checked every day staff room, isn't it? Which teacher is missing today? Huh? Particularly the science teacher and maths teacher absent means it is such a joy. Tragically, English teacher will come and say, I am going to cover the portion of finished. We enjoyed that. We didn't go to school. Remember, anything you got to grow, it's detestable. What to do, how to do it. Pain, It's exactly the same situation Ramakrishna Paramahamsa experienced. He was so involved in the worship of Kali. All that he has to do was close his eyes. That's all. Kali is there. If you close your eyes, nothing is there. He's a blessed man. When he closed his eyes, sometimes it went to such an extent where, while blinking, he closes, no? That is enough for him to get into Samadhi. And he just couldn't move out of Kali. And he met the teacher, Totapuri. And Totapuri said, Smasher, how? You sit, and where do you see Kali? Says, I concentrate between my eyebrows. He's there. Don't worry. When it is there, I will make a cut with a knife. That pain is an indication for you to chop off Kali. That's the indication. And Ramakrishna said, fine. First time he sat, he went in. Totapuri made a cut. There. Nothing happened. Did you do it? No. And Totapuri said, forget it. Next Janma you try. This Janma, I don't think you will be getting into that. Nirvikalpa Samadhi is not for you. You stay with this. And Ramakrishna can't afford to miss a teacher. Because Totapuri is not like our class, Yeah, if not today, tomorrow we will have a class. There's no problem here. That's not Totapuri. He will disappear. And Ramakrishna Paramahamsa doesn't want to miss him. So he fell at his feet and said, please don't go. Give me one more chance. Second time, same thing. And, Totapuri got really angry. He gave one whack to him and, walked out. He ran behind Totapuri and fell at his feet and brought him back and said, please help me, help me, help me. A third time also he failed. He got so annoyed. And Ramakrishna Paramahamsa got angry with Totapuri. Now he got annoyed with him. He said, what you mean? You are telling me to cut. Where will I get the sword to cut her? You're all with me. See, Totapuri has a knife in his hands. Okay. Now, when Ramakrishna goes internally, where is sword inside? There's no sword inside. From where will I get that sword? To which Totapuri gave a brilliant reply. Say, The same source from where you got Kali. It's the same source. It's the same place, same way. How did Kali come to you? Like all of us say, no. Happiness is within. All of you must have heard that. Some of you would have given a lecture also to others. It's within, sir. What do you mean by within? Fortunately, nobody asks. What do you mean by within? Tearing open. How many? A few inches it will pass out, that's all. After that, there is no within. Within my mind. You don't even know what is mind. I say within my mind, where? What is meant by within is what he says. From where you got the same source, the same way you have been developing your desires is the same way you're going to develop this ideal also. Now people keep on asking me, how do you pitch up an ideal? How can I fix an ideal? I'm not inspired at all. Obviously, you will not be inspired. You will not get that inspiration to build it. Why? It doesn't come natural. It needs to be, you need to be pushed in, like a child needs to be pushed into the school. You should be dragged in. That is why, the teachers, this job is a tough job. They have to force you to do something which you are not. It's a tremendous resistance. You resist it. But the parent forced the child. Of course, the child has no choice. Okay. It will cry, it will do all that, but it has no choice. So it will go. But as adults, as fully grown ups, you have a choice. You can resist so nicely. You have very many intelligent, cunning ways to resist it. If it is too much pushed, you will say, get lost and walk out. And all that you have to do is what? Change the all, get out of Zoom. That's it. Disconnect. If you are watching in YouTube, what you will do? Change this one, problem solved. You see. But here, that's not the case. You are forced. From where will you get that one? There is the inspiration for selfishness exists in you. You have a lot of selfish, ego and egocentric desires. From where the selfishness, inspiration for selfishness has come into you. How it has come. The same source is what you have to go for. That is where this intellect comes into picture. It needs to be forced because for selfishness, there is no problem at all. For unselfishness, there is a problem. There is a fundamental difference between selfishness and unselfishness. Because when you are pursuing something selfish, lower, what I meant by selfish is the lower one. The lower ones, you understand what you are going to get out of this, isn't it? I work, I earn money. With money, what I can get, you know that. It's not that you don't know what you will not, you can get out of. In fact, you know more. You believe, my money can give so much. Relationship can give so much. House can give so much. Car can give so much. Okay, knowledge can give so much. That is why you pursue very many things. The pursuit of so many things is only with the idea of that, and you know what you can get out of it. When it comes to pursuing an unselfish ideal, you're not sure. You see, that is why pitching up a higher ideal demands tremendous courage. Because you are not sure. That is why we say pitch up the ideal which is higher, as high as possible. Greater the ideal, difficulty to achieve it. Materialistically, I can say that's about it, but that's not the right way to go about it. You see, it's like a man who is earning 50,000 rupees starts thinking of earning 5,000 crores. You see, it's not. But from 50,000, it looks very logical for him to pitch up the ideal of 75,000, 1 lakh. From 50,000, what I should do, sir? I should go to 75,000. From 75,000, I should go to 1 lakh. So those things and all looks very logical. You see, step by step you go. But in Vedanta, that's not what is given. It says, pitch up that unselfish ideal as high as possible. Now, why as high as possible? Only there, the moment you keep the other way around, it will become easy. The moment you keep the just a little higher, your mind has already pitched up the fruit. You see, the mind has already gone into the fruit of action. The moment it has pitched up the fruit, after that, dropping the fruit alone is not going to work. That's why we say you need to pitch up the higher ideal. So Karma Yoga begins with what? The starting point of Karma Yoga principle, perfect action, ideal action principle starts with pitching up a higher ideal, pitch up a higher cause, higher purpose, a vision. Whatever that unselfishness. Unselfishness, I had already explained, I told you. Unselfishness is with reference to your current selfishness. What is your current level of selfishness? Example only we give from 50,000 to 1 lakh. Doesn't mean, a person moving from this to that is growing. Remember, that's not the meaning of growth. You see, this is what we all believe. We are growing, sir. What way you are growing? You have moved from village to a town. You have grown. From town to a city you go. You have grown. From a city to metro cities you go. From one country to another country you go. You think you are growing. Your house has moved from thatched roofing to concrete, marble flooring, from a studio apartment like a house to a 4-bedroom house. Is this growth? That's not what is referred here. This is what people believe. I'm growing, I'm growing. That's not growth, please. You're just moving, you're just circling in the same level. That's about it. You're not grown any better. You move from one strata to another strata. That is called growth, development. Growth is meant only for body, plant. We never say the plant has developed. We always say what? Plant has grown. Growth is only for them. They don't have development. Animals grow. They don't develop. Only humans have the potential to develop. But is he developing is the point. And then comes human can evolve. First you need to develop and then evolve. The development is, potential for development exists for human because he has the subtler equipment called mind and intellect that can be developed. Body grows, that's all. But mind and intellect alone can be developed, needs to be developed. Now, how do you develop it, sir? The development of that is what this work is. I struggle. The selfish things, what is the problem? You will get it. You will get what you have desired for. But the problem is, the moment you get in the bargain of attaining your selfish goals, you would have lost the capacity to enjoy the fruits. Then who enjoys? Like Swamiji says, two fellows enjoy. Son-in-law and Swami. Only those two guys enjoy. That's why if you see, there's a deep psychology there, Son-in-law, father-in-law will never go together. Mother-in-law, daughter-in-law will never go together. Mother-in-law, son-in-law will go very well. Father-in-law, daughter-in-law will go very well. Very interesting. Why? Mother-in-law is so happy when she sees, son-in-law coming. She'll be preparing this, preparing that. All that she'll prepare. And give that fellow. Father-in-law will be fuming inside. Very angry. What does he want? When I go to my father-in-law's place, I enter the kitchen, the father-in-law will come behind. I'll just go and ask my mother-in-law, just make one coffee and come. She'll get so excited that I've asked her a cup of coffee. The father-in-law will go behind. Well, what does he want? He say, very interesting. I just asked a cup of coffee, man. That's all it is. That itself is, will put him so, he'll get so annoyed and angry with father-in-law. Why? He has struggled so much to build something. And this fellow simply comes and takes and walks out. Same way, mother sees the mother-in-law. Why? She has seen her son struggling, fighting so much. How much he has struggled to score marks. How much he had struggled for him to score marks. 12 o'clock, she has to wake up and make a cup of tea and give it to this fellow and ensure that he goes to sleep at 2 o'clock and again wake him up at 5:30. Again make a cup of coffee for him in the morning to provide this breakfast and snacks and lunch and the evening snacks and dinner. Everything she prepared, and she had seen this boy struggling. This girl walks into the house. The very next day, she becomes a boss. Even legally also, you know that, no? She gets a share, total share. In fact, I would say the law says 50% goes to her actually. I say why full should be given. This daughter-in-law and mother cannot take that because she has seen the struggle, and now she just enjoying the fruits of the labor of my son. You see, that's the thing. They just can't take it. That is why you get angry with people in your house. The man of the house gets annoyed with his own son, his own wife. If she says, I'm going to buy the sari, he gets annoyed. Why? To get that extra 10,000 rupees, how much I had to suffer there. And this lady simply buys one sari, sitting at home. Enjoying, man. Now, the selfish goals when you have, you will achieve it. When you achieve your selfish goals, and everyone around you also will be benefited by that. When they were enjoying and you have become incapacitated, that becomes, highly frustrating. They can't take it. You see? They get so annoyed. And then this fellow will start calling everyone selfish. All selfish people, I tell you so. They're all there only for money, I know. I know they are talking to me only because I have money. Otherwise, they'll not talk to you. Talk to me. Sometimes I think, you are also doing like that. I say, I don't have to have this one. I tell you, I am talking to you only because you have money. Because obviously, I don't need knowledge from you. Yes, that I have. I will come to you only for what I don't have. No. Why should I come to you for what you are not having? Amazing to see people. This is the problem. When you pitch up an ideal, never pitch up something which is easily achievable. Strive to reach a point. Like strive to live a life like Sidney Carton. Just gave his life for nothing. Live the life like John Valjean. The Tale of Two Cities, Sidney Carton. Les Miserables. That convict. That John Valjean. The priest. Live like Bhishma. Krishna though no chance. See? Bhishma is a realistic idea. Krishna is an unrealistic idea. Live like Bhishma. Live like, those people. Pitch up the ideal of a lofty, as high as possible. Almost it should look like in this Janma, you are not going to achieve it. You will not attain it. That's why we say one goal which is straight away available for everyone is the goal of realization. No matter what work you do, you will not get realization because of your effort. That's what Chandogya Upanishad puts it beautifully. It says, Brahman chooses to whom he should reveal himself, it says. He will decide. Depends on his decision. It is nothing to do with your effort. You can put in any effort. It is nothing to do with that. Now, our problem is the moment we say this, then why should I put in effort? Yeah. This is why I said you are exactly like a child. The child will never understand the connection between going to school and working. That's why many things that you study in schools and universities and colleges, you don't use it in your day-to-day life, in your office, in your career. Then why did you study? So most of us can't make a connection between those two things. Therefore, we have started telling what now? Everyone should study only that is directly connected to the work. Vocational job only, everyone should study them. See, education has been degraded. It has become servile, it says, with a utility tag. You don't study things with a utility tag. Study with this. Pitch up that ideal. When you pitch up that ideal, since you are not able to understand what it can give you, your mind initially will resist it. Pass through that resistance. Pass through that. Once, for wrong reasons also you can go to school. Doesn't matter. Keep going to school. It is not that after understanding the right reasons and the right value of education, only I will start going to school. Means only now you have to enroll for LKG. Right? You can't go to LKG anymore. Not possible. See, it doesn't work. Even if you say that I'm going to school only for playing there, for my friends, doesn't matter. Go to school. Slowly, what will happen? Slowly, you will start understanding the value of education. Similarly, your mind will resist that unselfish goal, that unselfish ideal to move, step up. That stepping up, it will resist. Don't worry about it. Continue. That is what he says. Surrender. Let the mind surrender to that. And then slog, strive. Seriously, you got to keep working. Like Ram Tirtha says, you should die with your boots on. You should live a life of what, sir? Boots on, you should die. Isavasya Upanishad says, let me live 100 years doing karma. Doing karma, let us live for 100 years. Dynamic life. Live a dynamic life. All these three is one dimension of perfect action. So, intellect pictures the ideal, mind surrenders to that ideal. Surrender itself is only when you don't understand what is going to be the outcome of it. That's where surrender comes. What is going to happen, you don't know, but still you go along with it. The mind should be persuaded somehow to do that, and then body performs action. Then that work turns out dynamic. One aspect. The path of action further ensures that the energy gained is not dissipated through unproductive channels. There are three distinct ways through which energy drains away. One way is by the mind worrying about the past. The second is through its anxiety over the fruit of action. And the third, its excitement in the present action. However lofty the ideal be, your mind tends to slip into these channels. It loses its concentration on the present action. Your intellect must exercise its strength to hold the mind onto the action whenever it strays away. You must learn to clip the past, clip the future, and plunge into the present activity. Then your action becomes perfect, be it in the material or spiritual field. So two aspects are there. The first aspect he gives is this. The first aspect is you generate energy through action. See that? Ideal action has two aspects. The first one is generating energy. The action should generate energy. Now we believe we generate energy only by no action. Only resting generates energy, we think. Karma Yoga says no. Action itself will generate more energy to perform action. In our cases, action drains our energy. In the case of a Karma Yogi who is performing this ideal action, perfect action, is action generates more energy, thereby action leads more action. More action, more action, more action. You become more and more dynamic. That has 3 points. Intellect fixes the higher ideal, mind surrenders to the ideal fixed by the intellect, and body constantly in action. Works. Then there is another aspect is there for that ideal action. It plugs the leakage of energy. The generated energy should not get wasted in unproductive areas. What are the unproductive areas? There are 3 unproductive areas we have. 3 is worries of the past, excitement in the present, anxiety over future. Anxiety over future means what is going to happen? What is going to happen? What is going to happen? Anxiety. Worries means, why did this happen? Why did this happen? Why did this happen in this way? Why did this not happen this way? Why this did not happen? That should have happened. No. What is this constant brooding over what happened, what happened, what happened? Thoughts running in three directions creates this leakage. The first one is this. The first one is the idea of action, where your body is executing the action, means your mind should be standing behind the action. It cannot be oscillating. If it starts oscillating, if it moves away from the current action, you lose concentration. If you lose concentration, your action loses its potency. It becomes an important action to produce success. It cannot produce success. If it has to produce success, if you have to reach to your ideal, your action should have that much of power in it. How does action get power? From where power comes? Power behind action is in the concentration and the consistency that you are able to maintain. Both gets lost here. And definitely first thing that happens here is the concentration gets lost. Why oscillation? That mind keeps moving to worries, anxiety. Worries, anxiety. At times, the mind can come into the present also. In the present also, it gets into one trouble. What is that, sir? Excitement. Drains energy. Anxiety over future. Example, nervous 90. Have you heard of it? In cricket match, the batsman, technically speaking, there is no reason for the batsman to get out when he comes to 95. Because he has understood the pitch, he has understood the bowlers, he has decided the fielders, and by the time he comes to 95, that ball starts appearing like a football to his eyes. That cricket ball starts appearing like a football to him. How can you miss a football and get out? Huh? If I throw a football and you have to hit with the bat, how can you get stumped? How can you get clean bowled? It's not possible. And running between the wickets is fantastic. And his footwork, foot movement, everything is fantastic. And he is able to, the placements have already come in. The free flow of runs has come in. That's how he has come to 95. Otherwise, how would have come to 95? Okay, one or two strokes, you can hit and get a 6 here and, it's one or other. But you can't come up to 95, 98, not like that. But then why does batsman get out to 95? Anxiety. I like it. Worries of the past, not to talk about. All that you have to do is what? Sit next to a grandfather. Enough. Worry. Ayyo, that happened, this happened, that happened. I missed this in my life, that is lost, this is lost. You get completely lost. In 10 minutes, you'll feel like, I don't think you will wake up tomorrow morning. Today is the last class. That's all, sir. Tomorrow is not there at all. Finished. Excitement, what is it? Marriage. On the day. Not the entire marriage is not. On the day of marriage is what? Excitement. You see, all people. It's so interesting. You should go to that house, next day. You should not go on that day. You should go the next day. Look at everyone in the house. Look so exhausted. What were you doing? The whole day, what did you do? You are just standing and smiling and they're taking pictures. That's all you have done. I get so tired next day. It takes 3 days for them to recoup, to come to normalcy. Why? Excitement. It drains your energy. All these three, that excitements and all that, what it does is it peaks you up. You shoot up in your dynamism, but your fall is like, street fall. You precipitate into inaction. That's the problem with these three. This excitement. Worries, what happened, why this happened, why this happened to me, why this happened to me. And you go on brooding on that. That fellow has told you are an idiot once. And you have repeated it for the last 35 years. How many times you have called yourself a fool? He called you one day a fool and he went away. How can he call me a fool? How can he say that to me? How can he do that to me? How can he do it? How can you? You're going back to the past again and again and again. What happens to your thought energy? Because remember, energy for the body is not coming from the body itself. Remember this. You see, the body, physical body has X amount of energy. Like a man comes back from office. He comes back from office and he says, today's hectic day, I'm so tired. He can't even reach to the TV and bring that remote. He calls his wife and says, can you bring the remote? He says, hey, I have to take 25 steps to reach to the remote. For you, it is only 4 steps. He says what? Hey, I'm so tired. I can't even get up. Don't ask me to even move my limbs, please. Just give me the remote in my hand. He can't even stretch his hand to pick up the remote. Give it to me in the hand. And imagine suddenly he gets a call from his friend. Or he hears there is a fire in the building. What he will do, you think? Now he say, I am so tired, I can't even move 2 steps. Please carry me. He will be the first fellow to run outside. Now the point is, when he said that he had no energy, was he lying? It's not lying, remember. It's not lying. But when he hears that fire alarm, from where he got that energy, there is a reservoir of energy kept. When you get a call from your guru and says, do this, no matter what, it is done. There is no question asked. Like the Upanishadic student, absurd one, heartless advice, instruction by the guru. Hardly people understand what is being given there when they read those Upanishads. Chandogya, I was just referring not to the Chandogya. There, one story comes, very interesting one. The boy goes and asks the guru, can you teach Brahma Vidya? Guru gave him, few cattle, goats and cattle, and told him, when they come to 1,000 number, come back to me. What do you understand? Till then, what is he supposed to do? Tend the cows. Those cattle he has to tend. How many years it will take for that to multiply to 1,000? It's not that he has given 500. He has given only about 25, 30. That's all. Maximum, I'm saying. Maybe would have given 30 cows and said, how many years it will take for that 30 cows to become? Because by the time these cows grow and come to that next one, this cow has become old and they die. By the time he comes to that 1,000 numbers, when is he going to reach that 1,000 numbers? When he is going to attain that? How long I have to maintain it? Nothing. That boy is on the task. That's the Upanishadic student. From where he gets that energy to take care for years together. Don't think that is just, a few years. If it is pigs, it would have been very easy. Suppose you all understand. When a pig litters, it will put, 8, 10. Cows will give only one calf at a time. And then what? By the time that calf grows, matures, and then it has to give another calf. In the lifetime, one cow can produce how many? 4 maximum. And then what happens to that? And then he has to bring that up. By that time, this comes to 200. 200, when this comes, that first 50 is dead. Now what to do? He has come back to 150. Now 150, he has to build again. Slowly builds. How long he has to maintain that focus of work? That's karma, remember. Karma Yoga example, remember this. Karma Yoga example what? Chandogya Upanishad student. Tending cows. So if any one of you want to do Karma Yoga, what to do, sir? You don't know. But don't come to me for that, sir. You give me that few cows. I don't have anything. That work, concentrated work, dedication towards that. And there's no guarantee. The teacher has not guaranteed that after you achieve that 1,000 cows, I will teach you. That also he didn't guarantee, actually. And the story goes so interesting. And it reaches that 1,000. This boy is not realizing it. One of the cows tell him, buffalo tells the boy, reach 1,000, let's go now to the Guru. And taking pity on him, the buffalo teaches him Brahma Vidya. Taking pity on him, it teaches this boy, you are so dedicated, my child, I teach you this. And the heartlessness of this master is the worst, actually. And then what bird teaches him, and then the fire teaches him, and all this. And this boy goes to the Guru. One look at that boy, the Guru has understood. He has got that Brahma Vidya. And the Guru gets so annoyed and scolds him. Who taught you the Upanishad? And the boy did not say, buffalo taught me, the fire taught me, the bird taught me, nothing. The dove taught nothing. He said, you teach me, master. And then the Guru tells him, what is interesting is this happened in the forest. How does the Guru knows? We don't know. That Guru says, the first pada of Brahman was taught to you by that buffalo. The second pada was taught by that fire. The third pada was taught by that bird. The fourth pada I'm teaching you. And this is how I learned, he says. Unbelievable story. Karma Yoga. That's Karma Yoga. What is Karma Yoga? All principles. Principle you may forget. My belief is at least story you will not forget. If you forget the story also, I don't know what to do. Karma Yoga means what? Do action. Number two, do action with the higher ideal, not with the self-centeredness. Pitch up an unselfish ideal and perform this. And in the performance of that action towards the higher ideal, you perform it in that spirit of yajna, in that spirit of offering, that committed, dedicated work that is called yajna. You perform that in the spirit of yajna, means the fire worship, where you take the offerings and oblate it to the fire. See, the fire is the ideal. You offer your oblations, your efforts, your work, your body, mind, intellect, your thoughts, your speech, your action, all that is dedicated there into fire. And what is so important, anything that is put in fire doesn't become yajna. Remember this. You see, that is not yajna. In fire worship, you offer things to the fire. You burn. Any burning doesn't become yajna. Then every year, in Tamil Nadu, before that Shankaranti, previous day, we celebrate one thing called Bogi. What they do is they bring everything in the house, burn it. They burn all the old stuffs. Old things are getting burnt. That's Bogi. Yes. That is not yajna, remember. That is cleaning your house. Clean the clutter, all the useless things, bring it outside and burn it. Finished. See, anything burnt is not yajna. When it is burnt along with the mantra, that offering what is put in fire, when it is coupled with the mantra, it becomes oblation. You see, otherwise it's not oblation. Otherwise it is simply burning, cleaning the house. When does unselfish action becomes karma yoga? Is only when it is coupled with this mantra. Along with that idea, it should be. That is why any service-oriented action doesn't become karma yoga. Otherwise, all the NGO work becomes karma yoga. You have to practice karma yoga, what you have to do? Join NGO. Problem solved. No. You can do business and do karma yoga. You can join NGO, do karma yoga. You can cook in the house, do karma yoga. You can do anything in the world and perform that as karma yoga. However, only when that is oblated. Oblation means offered with the mantra. What is the mantra? That's what Kanji Acharya says. He says, mantra, you will say 101 things. Half the time, most of these mantras when you read, people ask me, sir, I want to know the meaning of the mantra. I tell them it is better when you don't know the meaning. Actually, by knowing, you will not get any inspiration. Actually, I would have seen people writing Sri Ramajayam. Sri Ramajayam, Sri Ramajayam, Sri Ramajayam, Sri Ramajayam, Sri Ramajayam. You translate that in English and write. Same thing you are saying, no? May victory be to Rama. 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 Do you get anything in that? 10th time, 11th time you start writing. What will happen to you? In the victory to Rama. When did he go for war? Hmm? May victory be to Rama. May victory be to Rama. He is past, no. He is gone, no. Now what is there? To Avatar is over, right? Swarga Arohana has already happened for him. He has taken entire Ayodhya people also with him, that population, not now. The citizens during his period, the entire Ayodhya population he took along with him for Vaikuntha. Now, what is there for you to keep writing, Sri Rama Jayam, Sri Rama Jayam, Sri Rama Jayam? And Shankara has written one work, very beautiful. About 8 shlokas he spends explaining the beauty of the eyebrows. How beautiful the eyebrow is. 8 shlokas for that. And you see people chanting that, so inspired. You tell them all that you're saying is eyebrows so beautiful. So what? It's better you don't know the meaning. Sahasranama chanting. You have to know the meaning of Sahasranama chanting. If I know the meaning, I can. Factually, you will not get inspired if you know the meaning. I'm not saying there's nothing, because it has got nothing to do with the meaning. Remember, these things. These things are all to do with emotion. It's to do with that affection. You call that Lord by 1,000 names. Why? Does he have only 1,000 names? No. He has much more than that. For whom? For Bhishma, not to you. You see, like a few years back, one day, myself and Purni, were sitting, and suddenly, she asked, Dad, how many pet names you had for me? He said suddenly. And then we were sitting and counting the names. How many pet names I have given to her. It turned out around 16 names we had. 16 names I had given her, the pet names. Why? Because more affection means you will give more names. I said, after the affection stopped, I said. After the point, it stopped. There's no more of that. Otherwise, there is no more names and names and names. What is this? It is the idea. Yes, affection should be. Chanting is going on and on and on. People ask, I should know the meaning of the chanting. For what you have to know the meaning? You repeat an action, you get bored. This mantras, there's no necessity. But this mantras, meaning you have to know. Amazing meaning. Yes. He says you will say all these things, but the crux is the final one when you're actually offering it. When you're actually offering the oblation into the fire, when you are putting it in the fire, you would be addressing to a particular God and say, Indriyayai idanna mama. This is offered to Indra. This is Indra's. What I'm offering is Indra's. Idam namama. Even when you are offering, next time you see, when you are offering, this feast, the akshina when you are giving to the priests, they will ask you to say it. Only then they will take. They will say, Idanna mama, say. You won't even understand what you are saying. Idanna mama, you have to say. Say na mama. Only then I will take. Na mama. Say na mama. Not mine. Not mine. Not mine. You have to keep saying, not mine. Not mine. This is not mine. Our problem is, how can you say not mine? See, not mine towards what you have to say, not mine, is critical. Remember, not just saying not mine. To what you have to say, not mine, is towards something that you had slogged for in life. Remember, in those days, they say offering in fire, what you have to give, sir. They'll say, ghee, rice, paddy, those things is what they'll offer, and then one, beautiful cloth, weaving, to weave one sari will take almost 15 days for a person to work full time. And then he has to get the thread. To get that thread, how many days it will take? So much of effort has gone to produce it. That he has to put it in fire. Saying what? Not mine. You will be boiling inside, actually. See, fascinating concept. This yajna concept is something so unique to these people. It is not there in any other system. No other religion talks about yajna. And the tragedy is, it's highly criticized also by people. No understanding of what is the idea behind the yajna. The idea is this. Idea is namama. It's not mine. What is not mine? To what I have slogged for is not mine. Today, we buy from the market. Supermarket, you go and bring 1 kg rice. And then he says, GBR, or I'm sorry, Nandini ghee. You buy from the market. And the next day, what? You see people, they give ghee, no? They will never give the full bottle to the, priest. They'll convert it into a small cup and then give. For other, they'll say, isn't it enough? The priest also says, enough. It just takes what? They take one small twig, and then they put it, and little only they'll put there. Pour no. How? What you have to understand is, we are talking about this idea of fire worship when it was created. Ages back. In those days, for that farmer to produce in the field, remember, it's all manual labor. There's no machine. By the time he works, 3 months he has to slog in the field. And then to extract it after these crops come into picture, bring it out, extract the grains out of, and remove the husk, bring that rice, and this priest says what? Put it in fire and burn it. Stating what? Not mine. He should be feeling internally what? Which means that entire slogging I am offering here. That's the meaning of it. Remember. With the attitude of what? Not mine. It's not mine. This is not my effort. It's not only my effort. Now, to your understanding, you may not understand all these things. Okay? To your understanding, how we have to do, if at all you people were to do some havan, what you should do is, every time when you are putting, he says 108 offerings to be given, or 32 offerings should be given. And he says, tell that priest, don't put anything. I'll give you 100 rupee note. Every time you say, put 100 rupee note in the fire and say, Idanna mama, Idanna mama. What will happen? I don't know what will happen to you, but the priest will get a heart attack. And so, the priest also will say what? Put coins. Have you seen? He'll never say put a note. They'll say put a coin. Why? Afterwards you can take it out. After all the fire is all been subsided, you can dig the ashes there and take out the coins and go away. You put a note, what will happen? Dollars. Put $1. If you are a big fellow, put $1. $100 to burn. The priest will say, give it to me, man. That is called the yajna. How you will feel it when you are, as I am giving example itself, people are feeling so uncomfortable. I said, no talk. That slogging, that effort that you put in to get it, that you offer. Towards what? Towards the higher ideal. When you do that, what will happen, sir? Is what he is giving next. With the pursuit of the appropriate yogas, the mind is freed from the bulk of desires. You develop a sense of dispassion, a feeling of renunciation. Your mind withdraws from its involvement in the affairs of the world, indicated in the diagram as uparati, withdrawal. Uparati is the state of mental withdrawal. When uparati sets in, you develop mental concentration, dharana. With sustained abstraction from the world and concentration upon the higher, you enter the last stage of meditation, dhyana. And in deep meditation, the single-pointed thought ultimately dissolves in absolute silence. In that silence, you attain samadhi, spiritual enlightenment. Now, see I think this is the a chart that you are seeing. The Karma Yoga, the three paths, the Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, the three. When you practice these three yogas, first you reach a state called Uparati. Means mind no longer running out. Means the mind has come within. It has taken a U-turn and it has come back. Collected mind. That's the meaning of it. You say Uparati, it means the mind that is collected. It is not running outside, it has come back to its position. It stays with you. Then you give that collected mind a general concentration. That is called dharana, next stage. After you master dharana, a general concentration, you give it a single pointed concentration. That is called meditation. When you have that single pointed concentration and sustain that single pointed concentration for a period of time, it dissolves and you reach the state of samadhi, the state of self-realization. This is the spiritual path. How you grow spiritually. Spiritual growth happens in this format. Practice the three yogas according to your proportion of active, emotional, intellectual. To the extent you are an active person, you take to path of action, karma yoga. To the extent you are an intellectual person, you take to the path of knowledge. To the extent you are a devotional person, emotional personality, take to the path of bhakti, devotion. When you practice these three to your proportion, you drop the desires. The mind no longer entertains very many desires. Now, what is not entertaining desires is all comes later. Then you reach that state of renunciation. That is the Uparati state. That's what he is going to explain in the next topic is that state of Uparati. Means the state of mental resignation, mental abstraction. That inner abstraction is what is referred as renunciation, uparati, sannyasa, etc. There's all very many names, being given. Right. Now we will see that in the next class. Renunciation. Thank you. Very good.